Hey guys, welcome back to Ultimate S&S. So today we're going to be discussing a little bit of stuff, just real quick video here. So the plan for forcing compliance, what are we seeing? Well, we are seeing the rising cost of fuel. We're seeing the rising cost of food and the availability of food going down. So this to me is reminiscent of a siege. This is how you put a siege on a country or on a people or on a city or any type of when you want to change the direction of a government. You want to make the people more compliant. So how do you do that? Well, one, you want to starve out the ones who aren't. That way they're no problem anymore. You want to make sure that we live in a time today where it's not new. Understand this. Biological attacks on the people act like, oh, I just can't see our government doing that. Ask Native Americans what the government done with their biological attacks when they were giving them smallpox blankets and things like that. It's not beyond our government, and it's nothing new. That is who we are. That is who they are. All right. They will starve the population to the point of compliance. So it is up to us to have sustainability. So what is the direction we're heading to? Well, we're heading to a direction of lawlessness. That's what they're pushing. Understand, the generation that is coming out into the workforce now, a lot of them are lazy. They have absolutely no morality to them at all. And that's why it's hard to find good workers in places and stuff like that. But that's not just the only purpose for that. These people, they like to feel a sense of injustice toward themselves. Everything is internalized. They don't seem to realize that people are going through life, and most people don't give a second thought to someone else that they don't know. But they have a tendency to take everything and internalize it and to be the victim, not because that's who they are, but that is because they have been trained to do that. See, parents are failing today. They're having to focus on both sides working, and then the kids are unfortunately in public schools, and they are just basically in the hands of our government, and they're being brainwashed into what they need to bring about the next order, if you want to call it that. So that's kind of what we're seeing today. Sorry about this chair squeaking. This thing is a piece of work. I'm gonna have to change it out later, but I think it's important that we realize what is happening and the reason for why it's happening. So, and what we can do to combat against it. Now, when I say combat against it, the best way you can combat is not through violence. It is through prayer, guys. And not only that, it is through preparations. All right. Faith and preparation. That's what I believe in. I prepare the best way that I can, whether it's trying to get chickens going. There's not a lot of work to chickens, guys. There really ain't, or even quail or honeybees for that matter. Most people don't do it because it's inconvenient and it's not something they want to deal with. There's information out there. This is 2022. There's so much information out there on how to do these types of things. I've even made playlists on here. So if you're curious in any of that stuff, just look at our playlist. It's broke down in little group categories for you, man. And that's going to get you started. And if you got questions from there, feel free to ask. Help you in a way we can. But if you're not working on self-sufficiency at this point, and I'm talking about more than just buying some cans, I'm talking about making a sufficient life, self-sufficient life, at least getting the information on how to do it. So when it comes down to that, you have your seeds and stuff that you can plant while you're waiting for your crops to come in. Yeah, man, it's great to have a year's supply of food. I can tell you it takes typically, depending on the plant, but typically 3 months at the minimum to be able to start turning in some kind of a crop from a garden. That's the real reality of it. And understand that doesn't mean as soon as it starts producing that, bam, you're just covered in food. No, it starts off slow, and you have to care for those plants to keep them going throughout the year. And the older the plant gets, the more mature it gets, the larger it gets, the more produce you're going to be putting out. And that's going to give you more food that you can be eating now. You can be putting food back. You can stockpile it, however you want to do it. It'll save you on a grocery bill now. It really will. And then you can take and you can use some of that extra money toward buying things that maybe you're not doing, like, potted meats or canned meats and things like that. There's a lot of different stuff you can get out there. Now, for those that like to come up and talk about, well, that stuff ain't very healthy, it's still healthier than starving. So for those who like to make those types of comments, do me a favor, see your way off the channel. Now, that's the way it is. My channel, I run it the way I want to. I say what I have to say. This is my voice speaking. This is an outlet for me to give my voice. If you don't like what I have to say, nobody's forcing you to be here, guys. But that's just the way it is. And that's the way I am in person. That's the way I am. If I'm talking with someone and someone walks up, well, I don't agree with that. So, well, it's an A-B conversation, so see your way out of it. And that's just the way I am in real life. People say that I'm a butthole. You know, that's fine, whatever. Hey, you know, I don't have to capitulate to sycophants. I really don't. I have a constitutional right to hold my own beliefs, and I exercise that right. All my rights, even my right of self-defense. That's one reason why I do like Florida, even though it's hot, even though we get hurricane seasons, is we have a lot more defensive rights for ourselves and our protection. And we even have law enforcement that comes out periodically in our news briefings that tell us if someone is, you know, violating your right, putting you in a situation where you feel like your family or yourself could be in, you know, harm's way, you know, and you feel like it could actually cost you your life or one of your family members' lives, they tell you, exercise your Second Amendment right. That's what they tell us down here. So I love that aspect of Florida. Some people may not. I don't care. I hope I never have to find myself in a situation where I have to make that type of decision, because understand, making the decision, while it may come quick in a moment, it is something you have to live with the rest of your life. And I don't know how well I would bode with living that. I mean, really, I don't. I mean, that you see military people come back and they suffer from PTSD and stuff like that. And they did what they were trained to do. They did what they had to do to survive. But they carry that burden with them the rest of life, a lot of those guys. And I'm telling you, man, I've seen them struggle with it. And some of those guys are stronger people than me. And it's one thing I thank God that I don't have to live with at the moment. But I think it's important that we realize that there is a plan in motion, and that plan does not stop just by infringing on our constitutional rights. That plan is leading all the way up to connecting into a one world order, and understand each part of that plan is being designed in different countries right now, and it's being implemented, and eventually it will all be connected into a whole. And that is where we are headed. That's why over in Europe right now they are selling this microchip that goes in your forehead. If you don't have hands, it goes in your hand. They say it could be kind of just a little bit kind of funny feeling in there while you're working if you do a lot of work with your hands. So they put it up in your forehead, right in your bridge of your forehead, because you move your eyebrows a lot and stuff like that. And that is the mark of the beast. So it is already being rolled out over in Europe right now. And how do you do it? Well, we learned with this pandemic that came out that the way you do that is say there's not enough for everybody. So they're actually selling it over there, and people are lining up as soon as they get stocks. They're hitting, and they want to have everybody in the European Union. They want to have everybody microchipped by the middle of next year, 2023. So, and we are looking at that. Well, I say we, our children that are in school, our grandchildren, our great grandchildren, they're in school, and when these kids come out, they're looking and they're like, you know, everything that happens in Europe is really cool, right? So they think. And they're like, that would be really awesome. So they have commercials right now that you can find on this platform and a lot of other video platforms. So definitely look it up, where it shows a guy coming up to a store and he tries to open the door and the door will not open. He's pulling on the door, will not open. He pulls the door so many times he finally just falls out from exhaustion. Another man walks up and he grabs it, and then it zooms in and it shows this little light, and it turns green and the door opens right up. Why? Because the chip in the hand allowed a grocery store door to open. And then one of the cool things is they have another one that shows where the guy jumps up, climbs in behind him, and he's in the store and he's getting the stuff, but they no longer take the currencies and stuff. It's what they're pushing in the commercial. They do not take average currency. It has to come off of that digital chip. And then to leave the store, you have to pay for it with the chip. You have to have a chip to get the door to open on the way out. So you're not going to be able to buy or sell anything without that. That's what they're pushing over in Europe right now. They are trying to have that fully implemented by the middle of next year. So at least that's what I'm reading on reports and stuff, guys. So when it comes right down to it, it will eventually maybe come over here to this country if America is still standing. But understand, America is not just a landmass. America is not the assholes in office. America is the hearts and minds of every constitutional Bible-believing Christian in this country. That is America. We believe in the Constitution. We believe those are God-given, inalienable rights. because that's what they are. And there is no government or no person that's voted into office that can supersede that. I mean, that takes some serious arrogance to go, well, they voted me in office, but I'm going to destroy their rights. It doesn't work that way. So how do you reconcile a Second Amendment with pushing an agenda? One, you want to starve out the population. You want to make them comply. You want to offer deals where they will have gun buybacks and things like that. Anytime there is a tragedy that happens in this country with a firearm, you see them all jump on their high horses and they start riding around. But we need to get rid of this. We need to get rid of it. The very first murder in history was used with a stone. Okay, we didn't see God come down here and say, oh man, you know what, I need to get rid of all the rocks. No. Hold people accountable for their action, not inanimate objects. It's that simple. As a firearm owner, I'm not going to say how many firearms and ammo I have, but I will tell you, I sleep very well at night, and not once in my lifetime have I ever woken up to find one of my firearms out doing something like, trying to hurt me or somebody else. No, they stay locked in their case unless they're needed. So be responsible. If you're a gun owner, be responsible. Do we travel with firearms? Absolutely. They have gun safes that go in cars. Check your state laws. Make sure you're not breaking the law, because they have to be stored certain ways in certain states. So just make sure that you comply with that, because that's going to keep you your rights to own one. If you get out here and say, I do what I want, chances are you're going to end up locked up. You're not going to have a right to a firearm at that point, guys. That is the reality of it. Be smart. Don't be a moron. I guess is the best way to say it. But I hope everyone's having a great day out there. What I do out here, you can see a lot of the videos. There's a lot of playlists between honeybees, the chicken, the quail, and our garden and things like that. The garden is coming in full bloom. I'm going to try to start doing more of our live streams back on our schedules, which was Wednesday nights at like 8 o'clock, and then Saturdays sometimes for a brunch at 9 a.m. But understand, I cannot right now meet those deadlines and stuff, because by the time I'm done working, see, I'm not somebody who just sits in a man cave. This is the spare bedroom. This is just it's like a catch-all room that I'm in right now. It really is. Here, I'll show you. It's a catch-all. This is not a man cave. This is not a production office. This is where I come in here. It's got an air conditioned vent right here that's blowing straight toward me. There's a fan in here. I come in here to cool off. Sometimes I have my cell phone on me and I'll put out a video or do a live stream. But I am more focused on providing food for my family, working hard while I can, because I am not getting any younger. I do have some health issues. Most people do. But I'm doing what I can to get ahead of the curve. All right. And that's just the way it is. And I encourage each of you to do that. And be careful who you take advice from. So like, if you want advice for like primitive survival, say something happens, you have to leave all your preps and leave. All right. Well, there's videos out there that are great for that on survival living. I would recommend his channel over most anybody else out there. I really would. Not because it's my brother, but because I know for a fact that's what he's doing. Just like I'm actually doing this stuff, and I want to show you. What I can't stand is the community. Understand, there's money to be made in this type of stuff if you do, just like production value type stuff. You can hang your flags up in the background, your don't tread on me, and different things like that. You can sit in here, you can pound the table while you talk, and what you need to do. But those people aren't doing anything other than getting in front of a camera and talking. You'll notice that my videos have slowed down about every other day, maybe every third day we missed. The reason for that is because I'm busy. I'm busy doing what I'm telling y'all to do. And if you are doing that stuff, you're going to find out just how busy you can be in life. And it's really rewarding when it starts paying off. But understand, man, like when you put chickens, you're going to reach a point where raising chickens, you're going to be like, man, I kind of like it, but I'm not getting any eggs. It's taking forever to get them at this point and stuff like that. And hey, man, it can take anywhere from 4 to 6 months for them to start laying eggs, just depending on the breed. Mine started laying around 4.5, almost 5 months. Is that typical for the breeds? I don't know. All I know is those chickens started laying around 4.5 to 5 months old. So that's perfect for me. We're finally getting our chicken eggs. I'm still getting an overabundance of quail egg. which is actually great because it's allowing me to make pickled eggs and things like that as well, guys. I've not worked on dehydrating them too much. From what I've been reading, that if you don't dehydrate eggs right, you're going to have a lot of stuff that can kill you in there. So I think I'll focus more on water glassing than dehydrating. And water glassing is just simply taking a jar. This is the size jar I would use for quail eggs, and I think I'm gonna start doing this. I gotta get some hydrated lime from Lowe's or Home Depot, and hydrated lime is not yard lime; it is construction lime. So you're gonna get hydrated lime, and you want to use a ounce weight of hydrated lime to a quart of water. For every quart of water is 1 ounce weight of hydrated lime. And then you'll just fill it up. You'll shake that up, get it all nice, and it'll look milky looking. And you just place your eggs in there. And that keeps those eggs good for 8 months to a year. And you're going to have fresh eggs. You don't have to put it in the refrigerator or anything. You can place it under a bed, in a closet, where it's not in direct sunlight would be my recommendation. But you can put it somewhere, and you're going to be able to have plenty of eggs later. So that's what we're going to start doing with our quail eggs out here. You don't want to take and wash the natural bloom off of your eggs when you do that, guys. You want to dust up, dust or poop off of it, but place it in there, with that bio film that's still on there. That would be my recommendation on that. But I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I am going to hop off of here now because unfortunately I've got more work to do, but we'll talk to you later.